Hello and welcome back to the Penno channel. If you're new around here, drop the video a like, share the video, subscribe, and if you're returning, welcome back to the channel. Now, I didn't do a match reaction to the Leicester game last week, so let's go into that quickly first. On the whole, I thought the performance was good, to be honest. It was just silly mistakes at the back that cost us that game. It's nice to see us try play at the back still, and it's a sort of system and shape that Emery wants to do. It's a style of play that we're going to have to adopt. And if players aren't good enough for it, then they'll be moved on. But I thought overall the football was good. Like, it's a shame that we took the league twice and still ended up losing the game due to costly errors. That was the main brunt of the performance. It was costly mistakes at the back. Boubacar Kamara had his worst appearance for Villa. That's it. And even in times, he was still played well. But in terms of the mistakes, he made two critical errors. One for the first goal, where he turned his man, he turned Dewsbury Hall and kind of stuttered on the ball still. He initially could have passed it out either way, and even when he turned, he still had opportunity to pass it out, but he kept held onto the ball and they scored. The other one was for the third, where he lost possession again in the centre of the pitch. Ball played through. I think Digne had a poor game at the back, but going forward, he played well in the first half. But at the back for the second, I think Digne and Mings, miscommunication from the pair of them. No one picks up the man for Iheanacho, and he's got a free header for the third. Digne again doesn't track Tete's run at all. He goes straight through in on goal. Mings and Digne again, the poor communication. He's straight through rounds Martinez. And even Emi came off his line. I know you can't blame the keepers there, but that was stuff Emi wouldn't usually do. He'd usually stand his ground. He's a bit, too eager to come off his line for those. And there were simple finishes. And then you've got Alex Moreno's mistake at the end where he miskicks the ball through to Dennis Pratt and he goes around Martinez again. So it was big mistakes. Leicester also had other chances with Iheanacho missing a one-on-one. The communication at the back was just poor. But in terms of going forward, I thought we played really well. Emery Buendia had one of his best games for Villa for me. Really intricate play, setting up chances, hit the bar, which Ollie Watkins scored off. He also headed one off the bar. You know how good Emery Buendia is in the air, considering his height. I'm sure he also created another chance for someone. Was the second was the Watkins strike. I think he was part of the build-up for that goal, which deflected off Harry Souttar. So yeah, Emery Buendia had a really good game. He nearly played Watkins in as well. I thought Watkins played really well as well. Goal and a sort of assist. Had that big chance, but Ward gets a touch on that. Changes the direction of the ball, and it was just unfortunate that it hit Watkins in the wrong position. It hits him anywhere else on his legs and the direction of balls into the goal, but it just hit him wrong. Bailey, just inconsistency in this game. Had that one good chance. I think it was going past Ward. He just didn't connect with it hard enough, and Wout Vass had the opportunity to clear it off the pitch. As I said, Boubacar Kamara just didn't have one of his better games. Made two crucial mistakes. If he didn't make those two crucial mistakes, he has a good game, because apart from that, there's moments in play where he turned out well. Douglas Luiz, again, orchestrating everything, had a really good game for me. And yeah, it was just one of those games. I thought the substitutions, Ramsey, I was surprised Ramsey came off and Digne came off at half-time, but I think they worked in our favour. I know they made the mistakes, but I thought Alex Moreno going forward was really good. Beating his man, something we haven't had at a left-back for a long time. A player that can beat their man and get into the byline. He created three chances from that. I thought Coutinho had another impressive display in the second half. I really did. I watched it back and I thought he really got his foot on the ball. And unlucky not to score. Douglas Luiz was just offside from that corner that was whipped in. But Coutinho's impact was really good. And to have 80% possession in the second half and so many shots on goal, to not get a point from that is the only disappointment. And for Leicester to go at the other end and score was just, it was one of those typical Villa things, which I hope we do cut out, but we can just put that down to one of those games, because in of a whole, except for the mistakes, I thought it was a really good performance with the ball, for sure. But, silly mistakes are always going to cost you games, and that's what happened in that game. So moving on to this weekend then. And we're facing a club who's gone for a lot this week. They lost to Spurs last weekend. Deserved Spurs victory. I know they don't score. I don't think they scored at the new Spurs stadium, which is something we've done. But yeah, anyway, Yeah, they're really in a weird position as a club. They had all the allegations come out this week, 100 charges from the Premier League. That's something that won't take days or weeks to sort out. That will be going on for months, possibly years, before a decision's made upon that. So Pep was being questioned quite a lot regarding it. They're going for the Villa mentality of, or should I say, I wouldn't say scapegoat, I'd say the inferior complex, as in everyone's putting stuff on us. He was naming teams in the press. I was surprised he didn't name Villa as teams that they wanted them to lose a Champions League spot when they had all the ordeals with UEFA. Villa wasn't one of the 9 clubs. Burnley was, though, which was surprising and quite funny, and Wolves. But yeah, Pep answered a lot of questions. He's going with the mentality of it's us against the world, which could be scary. That's a scary city, but then the form shows that they haven't been playing well. They really haven't been playing well at all. I think they've lost three of their last 6 or something like that, something ridiculous like that. For a City team, that's ridiculous. I think it's in all competitions though. So they'll be looking to play their strongest lineup, I think, for this one, which can be worrying at times, especially with us at the Etihad. You know, we had last year, should have won that game. 5 minutes of madness, and last game of the season, all that, City league on the line, they come back. We had the one with the Bernardo Silva controversial goal where we were in the game for 70 odd minutes. Ball comes over, it looks like Rodrigo's offside, and they had to change the rule because of that. Wasn't given, Bernardo Silva scores. So we had that game, which was a game, again, I think we were really flying at that point with Dean Smith. So yeah, we don't really have the best history at the Etihad, so it's going to be a difficult game. I remember the one, was it 3-0 as well? In the green kit. Was it 3-0? I think Raheem Sterling scored a few. So yeah, not the best history there. I remember the one I went to years ago was 4-0. I think Balotelli got a hat-trick. I remember that one very, very well. So I can't remember us doing the Guzan mistake as well, the Aguero goal. Yeah, we've had some bad times at the Etihad. So it's time to change it. Emery's changed a lot of things this year. Getting the victory against Manchester United home being a big one. We've had that third kit hoodoo for a number of years, which we've overcome since the Burnley away game. And tomorrow we'll be wearing the third kit again, announced by Villa. So this will be interesting. Can we do it 2 games in a row in the third kit, win away from home? Tough ask. They're going to go full strength. I imagine they'll play. KDB will come straight back in. The possibility of Foden playing. Laporte, Diaz are back. I don't see players like Rico Lewis starting. Possibly Akanji dropping. Ake dropping. Kyle Walker possibly coming back in as well. Gundogan coming in. So they'll be full strength. No doubt about it. Possibility Grealish might not even play still, you know. He doesn't like playing Grealish against Villa for some reason. There's a possibility he might not play, even though he's showing good form, because he likes changing it up. So yeah, what do we do then? We've had some great performances away of recent times under Emery. Long may it continue, and I think it suits us. It suits us a bit more playing away from home, currently with the squad that we have. John McGinn looks like he's back from training, back into full contention after full training. Bertrand Traore is back in full training. Whether he'll be making an appearance on the bench, I'm not so sure, but it'll be tight. And it's just Diego Carlos, who looks like he'll be back towards the end of the month, maybe the start of March. So interesting times now for Villa, because we have a full squad now. Everyone's available pretty much except for Diego Carlos, but he'll be back soon. So let's see what Emery's actual first team is then, because McGinn was playing a lot of the time before he got his hamstring injury. So yeah, it'll be interesting. What will he do with Traore as well? With this game in mind and with who we're playing, I think we set up similar to Spurs. I think just Ramsey maintains his place. I don't think Digne starts either. Alex Moreno showed enough for me going forward, and he'll be a really good outlet which we can use, especially if it's Rico Lewis playing right back. I don't know how Pep will set up, because against Spurs he set up in like a 3. It was weird. It was like a 3-3. It's like 3 at the back, 3-1, 3-3, if that makes sense. Sometimes going to like, it's like a 3-4-3 at times, or it could yeah, it was a weird shape that he set up with. He had like Rico Lewis playing the holding role, and then the three at the back with Ake Akanji and Kyle Walker, which allowed the midfield to push forward. But it didn't really work. It ended up with like Grealish and Mahrez playing wing backs. So I think he might just go back to what he knows best, with the four. But then who drops in that hole that Cancelo used to do, because they have no Cancelo now. Yeah, it'd be interesting how they line up. They'll probably just go 4-3-3, stick in Rodri centre mid, and then have like Bernardo Silva, KDB, Grealish, Mahrez, Haaland up top, or Foden possibly coming in, Gundogan possibly coming in for one in the free midfield. But for us, I think we go Emi, back four. If Young's good to go, Young, Konza, Mings, Alex Moreno, midfield two of Boubacar and Douglas Luiz. Emi, right. See, does he start Wendy? I think he has to. He was influential last game, but he could possibly go Ramsey McGinn if McGinn's fully fit. He could do that and just go with two direct runners who he knows will cover. Just a bit more size, but I think he'll go Buendia. Then it's the toss-up Ramsey McGinn. I think he possibly goes Ramsey still, and then Bailey and Watkins up front. But Johan Duran had a very good debut, which is one thing I didn't mention. He had a very good 10 minutes against Leicester. Really good touch. Really good touch. You know, he's, for a big guy, quite sleek in shape. He's big frame. He does have a similar frame to Benteke. I thought he was bigger, but he's not. Really good touch. He beat Soyuncu once down the line as well, so he has pace as well. It'll be interesting. I don't know about a start, but I can see him definitely getting minutes on against Man City. Definitely, maybe, you know, if we're in a position where we're chasing a goal, or even if we have a lead, just to hold the ball up. His hold-up play looked relatively good against Leicester. There's a few times Harry Sutar and Soyuncu were up on his back, and he had a good first touch and he laid it off well into the centre midfield. So really looks promising with Duran. Obviously, he needs more game time. We need to see him shoot. We need to see what he can do, but it's promising. So I'm sure he'll get minutes against City, but I'm not sure about the start. Again, Coutinho, he'll be pushing for a start as well, but I don't see this. Well, saying that, last season he was the best player for us against City, and he came off and it all went downhill from there. So yeah, Emery has options, but I think he'll stick to what he knows. I think he'll stick to the same lineup. Possibly McGinn coming in for one of Buendia and Ramsey, and then either player switching to the whichever wing. But McGinn was playing well under Emery. He really was. He was showing, you know, he had really good moments on the ball, making really good decisive runs. That run against Brighton where he ran in between the lines and won the penalty was really good. Played that lovely ball for Douglas Luiz against Spurs for the second goal as well. So McGinn, he's impressed me under Emery. I can't lie, because I thought it might be coming towards the end of his time, but he does show he has a place in the squad. Score predictions for me. Playing a City that's a wounded animal, it's a tricky one. Everyone's been saying City will click at some point, and it hasn't come as of yet. Is this the game where they start to click because of all the charges and stuff being released in the press this week, and their backs against the walls, and, you know, everyone's against us mentality, which Pep usually thrives on? Or do they continue the poor form that they've shown throughout this season so far? As in poor form for City, not poor form as in shocking form like Liverpool or Chelsea, as in poor form for City, because you expect them to win the majority of games. So it's a tricky one, because where are their heads at? And that plays a big part. We can be as good as anything, but City are one of those sides that they can sweep most teams if they're on it, or they fail to create with 70% possession and can't break us down. For some reason, I still don't think Grealish will start, and I don't know, I feel like that might play into our hands a bit because the less cutting edge. Well, he hasn't demonstrated it as much at City, and I think the reasons for that, but I don't think there was cutting edge. You know, they have that real killer instinct when he plays. So yeah, for me, I think we'll lose, but I would I'd love a point. Obviously, I'd love a point. I'd take a point right now. I'm going to go, I think we can score though, for sure. I'm going to go 2-1 City, I think, if my honest opinion. I just think they'll be on it. But you know, it's Unai Emery. Anything's possible with this man. He lives and breathes for these types of games, against the underdog story, against a bigger side, the bigger, you know, the more dominant sides. He likes to set up a shape, stick to the shape, and catch him on the break, which I think we really have the potential to do. We've shown it against Spurs, we've shown it against Brighton. We have the potential to do that away from home, where the ball, it's less on us to command the game and control the game. It's more on the home team, and we're looking to just counter them. And we saw what Spurs did to them. Spurs always beat City because they're so devastating on the break against City. They soak up the pressure and always catch them cold with goals. And we need to do that, and we need to be decisive in our attacking areas. So yeah, I think it will be 2-1 City, but I'm really, really hoping for a win. But really feel like there is a possibility we can get a draw in this one. So yeah, let me know your thoughts underneath the video. Any other comments, be much appreciated as well. And also another thing, you know, the story broke out about Emi Martinez. I think he did an interview talking about he wants to play Champions League football. He'd like to do it with Villa, but if that's not a possibility, you know, he'd just like to play it. He feels like he's capable of playing in the Champions League. For me, where we are currently as a club, after the last year we've had, where we know we made the wrong managerial appointment, it's set us back a little bit. We're not getting Champions League this year. We can try push for Europe. See, it's still realistic, but that's not Champions League. If anything, it's, you know, Europa League, Conference League. So we have to go into the summer expecting big changes, both incomings and outgoings. Personally, I feel big clubs will be after some of our players, and sometimes the money might just be too good not to turn down. Players might, you know, Champions League football or top clubs currently may come in for players and they may turn their heads. So we have to be confident in the rebuild of an Emery squad and how, you know, things go. Back it. It may be sad to see players leave, but in the current situation and position we're in, we can't really argue with some of the decisions that player makes, if you understand what I'm saying. There's only so much loyalty, and after Grealish, like there's only so much loyalty that can be given to a club. He showed the utmost, but and then again, was this the time we were going to push? Who knows now? That's in the past. But yeah, so don't be surprised if bigs come in for certain players, and if certain players do go. But just trust Emery and the business that he'll do in the summer, because it might be a totally different squad, but he has the history, he has the form, he's proven time and time again he is capable of getting teams unexpected, of getting European football into Europe and doing well in those competitions. So let's give it time. Don't be shocked if certain things, I do think it's weird that the comments come out now. It's just a weird time, the window's just shut and you're making comments about like that, but it is what it is. You know, that's just modern day media in football, and in sport in general. So back the players to the end of the season. Hopefully we perform strong. We have a push for Europe, and just show other players who are looking to get in that, you know, we're going to push on next season and we're going to go for it, and show them what we can do this season, which we have demonstrated already, and just had a few slip ups in results, which is part and parcel. We're not the finished article yet. So keep backing the boys. Big game at the Etihad. Let's just hope we can come out there with something. I think it's possible. I do think it's possible. We just have to turn up and hope they have an off day again, which is likely coming to form. So yeah, thanks for your time. Thanks for listening. Again, if you could like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, would be much appreciated. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let everyone know about this. More content's going to be coming. Yeah, I'll be doing a match reaction to the game. Last game of the weekend, obviously not including Merseyside Derby because that's Monday. So, you know, be ready. 4:30 Sunday. Big game. Yeah, thanks for your time, and up the Villa.